Kucherov is able to swing back at center and send it down into the Toronto zone. Point. Oh, Rielly takes point in, and then Kucherov jumps Rielly from behind. And so does Stamkos. Point is down.
I don't think there was a penalty being called on the play. We're going to have to take another look at this. I thought Point looked like he lost his balance as Morgan Rielly got to him. But Braden Point, who is still down with the trainer out on the ice. And we'll have to see this. You certainly hope from a Leaf standpoint that Morgan Rielly isn't going to be penalized for this. They're still scrumming it up. Somebody's got a hold of Rielly in the corner.
Point is doubled over and heading to the bench. And Matthews is getting punched. Well, we can't see it because the camera isn't on it. Now we've got a fight. Is this Stamkos and Matthews throwing punches at one another?
I mean, you would think, they might take the way out that they're going to penalize Morgan Rielly. But Tampa, the response from Kucherov and Stamkos, you would think worst case scenario for the Leafs, it's going to be evened up.
Well, Matthews got one in because Steven Stamkos' nose is bloodied. And now we've got
Luke Schenn and Sergachev.
And Sergachev doesn't want to have anything to do with that matchup.
I think somebody on the ice is saying don't make eye contact. Morgan Rielly is pretty bloodied. This is going to be interesting and crucial. As Morgan Rielly, who had the collision with Braden Point. Point went to the dressing room. No, to me, he lost his balance. Yeah. But then Rielly is jumped by Kucherov, and Stamkos comes in. This is not, to me, this is not a penalty.
And it's certainly.
They collide, and Morgan Rielly won the collision. And it looks like it might be a rib injury more than anything else, as Braden Point seemed to be pointing towards his left rib cage. But Steven Stamkos started throwing punches before Austin Matthews could even get his glove off. And we're going to see here if anybody lands a punch.
Wow, the fight as the aggressor is certainly Stamkos.
Well, and then you had Kucherov going after Rielly. You're right.
Kucherov is in the box. Stamkos is in the box. All of the heavyweight fighters that you would expect to be involved are in it. And we've got noted tough guy Tanner Jeannot speaking out about this.
Yeah, this is not a dirty play by Morgan Rielly. It
certainly isn't.
Both players are just going into battle for the loose puck in the corner. And we shall see if, in fact, the officials take the easy way out and say, okay, we'll give Rielly, Matthews, Stamkos, and Kucherov all penalties and keep it nice and even.
Well, if it gets to
I'm sure
Department of Player Services, Rielly will probably get 6 games.
They'll tag on an extra 3 to Nazem Kadri just for good measure.
Luke Schenn is carrying on quite a conversation with his former teammates.
Well,
not one of them. Jeannot, who was not there. I love it.
Luke Schenn is not animated at all.
No, Hagel is.
And now Hagel is.
But here's the decision between Jake Brink and Francis Charron, how this is all going to play out.
I'm going to guess that all 4 players, Rielly, Matthews, Kucherov, Stamkos, will all get 2-minute minors.
Roughing.
Yes.
Toronto, Rielly has been assessed a 5-minute major for boarding. The play is now under review.
I'm shocked. I'm really shocked.
The under review part, I'm absolutely baffled by, as is Sheldon Keefe over on the Leaf bench. is showing Kyle Dubas, who's got his hand up, saying that's not boarding. It's two players going for position, and Point actually has the puck. Is this not shoulder to shoulder, Joe? Pretty much. Now they're going to slow it down.
Watch the officials.
And it's actually Braden Point putting on the brakes that initiates. I think he initiates contact.
He tries to kick the puck with his left foot. He loses his balance, and there's no way that Morgan Rielly could stop under the circumstances. And
but to me, Braden Point puts on the brakes and leans into Morgan Rielly. To me, it was actually Point that initiated the contact.
$5 minutes and so much for your 2 minutes for roughing stuff, Mr.
Well, you know what? Still might be. But Braden Point, we just saw it at full speed again. To me, Point tries to brace himself and puts on the brakes. He stops and then leans towards Rielly. Rielly just continued on.
Here we go.
After reviewing the play, we determined that there was no penalty on the play. There's no 5 minute 44.
No penalty. Well, thank goodness we looked at this. And Mr. Ralph, I don't know how you managed to get word all the way down from our studio here in Toronto to the ice level in Tampa, but you did a marvelous job because it's exactly right. Well, there was no penalty on the play.
Now let's see if we get the 4 minors that we talked about now. So if there's no penalty on the play.
Well, then there should be an instigator penalty on the fight because Rielly's been cut.
No, wait a minute, Joey. That's why you call roughing instead of fighting. You would know better than I.
Yes.
But to me, now they're just going to wash everything out.
Well, it's going to take some time to figure this out.
I don't know if the officials are still discussing it, but we haven't. Does anything come up on the sheet? Right now, they got Matthews as the fighting major, same as Stamkos, and then Kucherov and Ryan O'Reilly have minors.
Maroon and Shen are carrying on the conversation
how would Kucherov escape this?
Well, he was in the penalty box.
Sorry, he gets one of the minors.
Yeah, Stamkos is in the penalty box as well for the fight.
But why does Ryan O'Reilly end up with a minor as well?
Stamkos grabs Matthews and starts throwing punches to start the fight there.
In fairness, the official was a foot and a half away, so maybe he didn't see it. I'm still trying to find out why Ryan O'Reilly.
And here's Morgan Rielly coming back to the bench after having his bloody nose packed.
Yeah, this is now, we're showing up on the board on the screen that it's going to be a 2-minute power play for the Leafs. But we have yet, it hasn't come up on the NHL website as to what the actual calls are, because right now we've just got Matthews and Stamkos for fighting majors, and Ryan O'Reilly and Kucherov with minor penalties. Tampa still leading 3-2 here in the third period, 14:56 to go. And we will try to update on whether Braden Point returns. Right now, Sheldon Keefe, whatever it is absolutely livid over on the Leaf bench. And even though it's showing a power play on the screen, Joe, I'm not so sure that the Leafs are getting a power play.
Well, I think he's looking for an instigator penalty to Stamkos for sure. Now,
and maybe
Radish has gone into the penalty box as well. Maybe he's going to serve the instigator penalty. I don't know, but at this point, the Leafs have an advantage.
No idea what the extra penalty is. And no, Morgan Rielly has come to the box now.
And Ryan O'Reilly is in there along with Matthews. So a lot of the power play is in the penalty box.
On both sides. All right.
Well, here we go. It is a Leaf power play. Tavares getting it back to Marner. Near side for Nylander. A shot. Pad save made.